Welcome to Religion Story YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. In a land nestled between green mountains and gently flowing rivers, there stood an ancient temple where a monk named Dhammaviro lived and meditated. He was known as a wise monk, having undertaken a spiritual journey for more than 2 decades. Although he was only 42 years old, his soul felt as old as the mountain he called home. He was respected by his followers and often invited to interfaith forums as a representative of Buddhism. One day, he received a special invitation to attend an international religious debate to be held in the nation's capital. This event would feature figures from various faiths: Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, and Islam. What intrigued him most was the news that the Islamic representative would be an elderly imam, said to have memorized the Qur'an since the age of 9, named Imam Syakir Al-Hakim, a man known for his gentle words and sharp intellect. The debate took place in a grand hall at a prestigious theological university. When Dhammaviro entered the room, he saw Imam Syakir sitting calmly in his chair, holding a sandalwood prayer bead, his smile never leaving his face. The debate began with a fundamental question: what is the purpose of human life? The Hindu representative explained the concept of moksha, the Christian spoke about God's love through the sacrifice of Jesus, and the Jewish leader discussed responsibility for the world and the covenant with God. When it was Imam Syakir's turn to speak, he opened with a verse from the Qur'an. He then explained that in Islam, life is not merely a cycle of reincarnation or karma, but a journey toward reconnection with the Creator, not through essence, but through servitude and obedience. Humans are born with an innate nature, fitra, recognizing God, and this world is a test to preserve that inner light. Dhammaviro listened intently. There was something in Imam Syakir's words that left him unsettled. Not because he was offended, but because his heart was touched by something he had never experienced before. A truth that was simple yet profound. After the event, Dhammaviro asked for some time to speak privately with Imam Syakir. They sat in the campus mosque's back garden, under the shade of an olive tree. Imam Syakir, Dhammaviro said quietly. I have meditated for more than 20 years. I have studied the Dhamma, burned the ego, and tried to be free of suffering. But there is still an emptiness I feel. Have I been on the wrong path? Imam Syakir didn't respond with a long sermon. He simply looked into Dhammaviro's eyes with a gaze full of compassion. My brother, he said gently, what you seek is not emptiness, but fullness. You want to escape suffering, but you forget that only by knowing the one who created you can you truly give meaning to suffering. Dhammaviro was silent. It was rare for him to be at a loss for words. Imam Syakir continued. Islam is not just a religion, but a way of life. It does not reject the depth of meditation or the inner peace you seek, it guides it. Not to escape the world, but to know the one who governs it. Day by day after that meeting, Dhammaviro began to study the Qur'an. He wasn't immediately drawn to legal rulings or religious law, but to verses about God, about creation, mercy, forgiveness, and tawhid, oneness of God. He cried when he read, and your Lord is one God, there is no deity except him, the most merciful, the most compassionate. One night, in a small hotel room where he was staying, he prostrated for the first time in his life. With tears soaking the prayer mat lent to him by Imam Syakir, he recited the Shahada, the declaration of faith. He left behind his robe, but not the spirit of peace he had once studied. He took a new name, Ahmad Dhammaviro as a symbol that he did not reject his past, but now walked in a new light. Today, he is known as Ustaz Ahmad, often delivering lectures on spiritual transitions, helping many converts from intellectual backgrounds, and even building a Pazantran, Islamic boarding school, that blends the contemplative depth of Buddhism with Islamic spirituality. One day, a student asked, Ustaz, what changed your life the most? He smiled. A single verse, he said. Not because it was long, but because of its depth. Whomever Allah wills to guide, he opens their chest to Islam. 3 years had passed since that night, asterisk. The night when his tears merged with the prayer rug, and the words of the Shaida flowed from his lips. Now, Ustaz Ahmad lived in a small town on the edge of a forest, where he had built a contemplative Islamic boarding school which he named Dar as-Sakina, the House of Peace. The school was unlike typical Pesantren. There were no loudspeakers blaring at dawn, nor the lively noise of students playing soccer in the afternoons. Instead, what filled the air were the sounds of wind whispering through the trees, the gentle rhythm of Quranic recitation, and deep discussions about the meaning of life and the essence of Tawhid. Most of the students were seekers, former religious leaders, philosophy students, artists, even ex-environmental activists whose souls had grown weary and yearned for direction. They didn't come out of obligation, but because their hearts were thirsty for depth, not just knowledge. On one foggy morning, an old man in saffron robes with a shaved head stood at the school gate. Around his neck hung a monk's wooden prayer beads, and he carried a small cloth bag. Ustaz Ahmad stared at him for a long time before a tearful smile formed on his face. Guru Mahajaya. It was indeed Mahajaya, his former senior teacher back in the temple. The two embraced for a long time, like old friends reunited after years of unspoken longing. I did not come to debate, my student, Mahajaya said after they sat together in a simple bamboo hut. I came because I want to know, what made you leave the path we walked together for so many years? Ahmad nodded slowly. Teacher, I did not leave peace. I simply found its source, That night, they talked for hours. Ahmad didn't quote many verses, nor did he criticize Buddhist teachings. He simply shared stories, about the love of Allah, about a prophet who wept for his people, and about a soul that had long felt adrift but had finally found its home. Mahajaya remained silent. In his eyes was an unusual glint, not anger, not sadness, but reflection. Before leaving, Mahajaya whispered, "If I ever return one day, not as your teacher but as your student, would you accept me?" Ustaz Ahmad held back tears. "Teacher, even before you asked, my heart had already embraced you." As Dar as-Sakina grew, many people took interest, though not all with good intentions. Some accused Ahmad of blending teachings. Others spread rumors that he was promoting heresy. One night, the school was even attacked with stones by unknown assailants. Ahmad did not respond with anger. He simply prostrated more deeply and prayed. O Allah, you opened my heart so gently. Please open theirs with your mercy, What kept him strong was the small, loyal community around him, students who were memorizing the Qur'an while sharpening both their intellect and spirit, and Imam Syakir, now elderly and walking with a cane, who still visited often, offering lectures and serving as a spiritual father to Ahmad. Years later, when Ustaz Ahmad turned 50, he was invited to a major interfaith spirituality conference in Istanbul. Standing before hundreds of attendees from various nations, races, and religions, he spoke. I used to search for truth as if it were the summit of a mountain. But the truth, it turns out, is not something we climb toward, it is something gifted to us when our hearts surrender. Islam taught me that knowing God is not the end of a journey, but the beginning of a real life, The audience erupted in applause. But what touched Ahmad the most was not the applause, it was an old man in saffron robes standing at the back of the hall, lowering his head and quietly uttering the Shahadah. It was Mahajaya. Now, Dar as-Sakina has become a tranquil spiritual center, a place where people come not just to learn, but to rediscover the voice of their hearts, often lost in the noise of the world. And there, among books, prayer rugs, and the whispering forest, a former monk turned Ustaz continues to sow seeds of light, one heart at a time.